My name is Tia Cratter. I started in 1993 as a digital painter.
My name is Bill Wise. I started December 4th, 1994 as a lighting TD.
If I had to look back to one moment, it would be with my family at Disneyland. And we went through the Small World ride. And the boat got stuck right in front of this big paper mache hippo. I saw that and I thought, that's what I want to do for a job. I want to paper mache hippos.
I was really into Star Trek as a child, and this book came out called The Making of Star Trek. You know, inside they had like blueprints, but they also had a lot of photos of behind the scenes. You know, you'd think that that would puncture the illusion, suspension of disbelief, but I was fascinated by that. It's like, oh, that's how they actually do it.
Excuse me.
What's kind of funny is that even though I don't paper mache hippos, I've come around pretty close. So now I am a shader art director at Pixar, getting to figure out the surfaces of characters and objects in a film.
My name is Sharon Callahan. I came to Pixar in 1994 during the production of Toy Story as an animation scientist or lighting artist or whatever you want to call it.
My name is Ralph Eggleston. I've done production design and art direction and directed a short film.
You know, everything you do in your life feeds into what you're ultimately going to end up doing in some way, some small way.
During the summer, sometimes a friend and I would make little short live action films, a zombie film. So skip ahead to high school. My parents bought a Super 8 camera, and I would make little clay animation films and hand-drawn little films, and that got me into California Institute of the Arts, studying animation, where I met lots of people.
The first class that I had in art school was the composition and color class, and the instructor was awesome. She basically drilled into us all of the principles of composition and color that I have running through my head all the time now. Every time I look at an image, you know, how colors are always relative to each other, value is relative to each other. Composition is really only choosing where to put things. It's how you want the audience to feel about something.
My first real job in the industry, believe it or not, was with Brad Bird. He gave me the opportunity to work on a film he was working on called Family Dog. I think that was a job where I met everybody that I've worked with ever since. You know, one of those group of people led me to the next job, or to the next job, or to the next job.
When I started, I had a business card that said Tia Cratter, Imperfectionist, because it was my job to mess up everything that was created so perfectly in our films.
My first week here, it was almost like, okay, were you really expecting me? Because I didn't know where I was going to sit. I didn't have a desk. It took till Wednesday until I had a computer, and I had to get my first shot done by Friday. You know, what I remember more than anything is the thrill of the challenges, and that I think that to really do well in this business, you have to get excited about things that seem like that they're going to be impossible.
There was a scene in Sid's room where he burns a hole onto Woody's head. I mean, let's remember, this was 1994, 1995. There were a lot of things that were still hard for us to do. Magnification and refraction, and I mean, we didn't have a ray tracer back then. Should I talk about ray tracers? Is that too techy? You know, we can do so many more complex things now. Hair, simulated cloth, whatever, but you know, there's always hacks.
With every film, it's the same challenge, really. It is, how do you get it on the screen? But it's also the most exciting part. I burned her head the other day with a magnifying glass.
Did you really?
Yeah.
It's so collaborative here that you just can't take credit for doing one thing. It takes a bunch of people.
It's a little bit like herding cats, and what you're trying to do is get everybody to kind of go in the same direction, but you know, still have their independence and still be able to contribute something on their own. But you're trying to get them to all, okay, this is the movie that we're making.
From an art department and a production designer point of view, providing inspiration to all of the crew that follows, and then letting them kind of plus it, take it to another level, offer other ideas that support this basic idea. When I see the shots come together in lighting, after all the modeling and shading and articulation and animation and effects and everything is done, it really is just this magical new thing.